Oh, I had to talk about this. Hey everyone, Jeremy here. Today I am about to talk about a very big announcement that actually came on my birthday, so I completely missed it. I was kind of offline. The next day, my friends are going, "Hey, did you hear about this? Are you kidding me? Are you absolutely kidding me?" And if you haven't seen this. Oh my goodness. Yes. Hayden Christensen is coming back as Anakin slash Vader in the Ahsoka series. Now, we actually don't know that he's coming back as Anakin or Vader. I guess that would be weird if he wasn't, but Disney has not confirmed. Lucasfilm has not confirmed his involvement, what it's going to be, who he's going to play. And that's what made me have to make this video, because when we got Ahsoka in live action, I know one of the conversations a lot of us had was, oh, it'd be so great to see her with, Hayden, to see them together, to see her with, Ewan, basically to see the trio back, but at least to see her and Hayden. And for me, it brought up the question of, well, did Ahsoka ever learn about what happened to Anakin? Did she ever learn that he turned back to the light? Did she ever know about that he's the one that killed the Emperor and saved Luke? I always had these questions in my head afterward, thinking, wow, it'd be really great if it came back, if, they could do something to show us how she learned that. But I always figured, you know what, that'll probably be in the comics, or it'll show up in a novel someday, something along those lines. But with this announcement, I'm now thinking that's not the case. I think, and this is going to be kind of me going into a theory here, is I have a feeling they have realized not every Star Wars fan knows Ahsoka. They just don't. A lot of people in my generation don't know Ahsoka. They didn't watch the Clone Wars. Maybe they were too old. Maybe they just weren't into the animation. Whatever it was, they didn't get around to the Clone Wars. And also, there are also just Star Wars fans out there that only watch the movies and are, now getting into the TV shows now that we have Mandalorian. So they might just be setting up a story. Lucasfilm and Filoni et al. Might be setting up a story to give everyone context to who Ahsoka is, which makes perfect sense, because not everybody knows she's the apprentice of Anakin Skywalker. Not everyone knows that, that Darth Vader pre-turn had an apprentice. Most people just think he was Obi-Wan's apprentice. That's it. That's all we've ever seen in live action. So whatever. There's people out there that goes, it just happened in the cartoon. Whatever. That doesn't affect me. No, it really does affect you. It all counts. And to those people, you have no idea what you're missing if you don't watch the Clone Wars. That also begs the question, how involved is he going to be? Is this just a cameo? Is he just going to show up in one cameo and that's it? Ahsoka's been through it. She's having a tough time. And in a moment of crisis, here comes the Force ghost of Anakin Skywalker to give guidance to his former Padawan, his what people don't know, basically his little sister. I'm wondering if it'll just be that. I could see it just being that, but I could also see it being much, much more, because Filoni is involved. That's it. That is why I think it could be more. If this was somebody else, if this was completely, it didn't involve Filoni, it didn't involve anybody else, really. It was just somebody who didn't have a lot of association with the Clone Wars and Rebels and know those two characters, they wouldn't know the impact something like this will have on the fan base. The fan base, seeing these two together is going to just, that Luke Skywalker scene that I'm thinking of right now, it's going to be a little similar. Probably not to that degree. It's going to be more like the way we were probably when we saw Ahsoka for the first time in live action. That moment, and go look that up for me. That moment, it's breathtaking. It is. I was beside myself. I still can't describe the feelings I was having. They were just tears of joy streaming down my face. I think that is exactly what you're going to do with fandom again. And I think that Filoni knows that. He knows that fans need to see these two together again, one last time. And what better way to do that than if he's kind of like Obi-Wan in this series? Obi-Wan from the original trilogy in this series. So if you remember the original trilogy, which I imagine you do, then you know Obi-Wan appeared to Luke. You know, he was an integral character in A New Hope, but in the other films, he appeared when Luke needed him. He would appear sporadically throughout the other two films. I think that is kind of what they're probably going to do with Hayden here. I think they could actually have it so that he is, you know, lending guidance when Ahsoka needs it. And maybe she doesn't even want to listen to him. Maybe it'll be a situation where he's coming to her and she's just dismissive of this Force ghost because, no, you turned to the dark side. How can I listen to you? You broke my heart. You destroyed everything I loved. How could I ever trust you? That could be an interesting dynamic. That could be a really interesting story. And you could do it from the first episode. You could even end the first episode with him showing up to her and then cut to black. Kind of like, you know, How We Met Grogu. Mando, here's Grogu. Black screen. Roll credits. Anakin's going to love her, but I have to wonder, I mean, this is 20 years, 25 years that she's been holding on to all these feelings. And last time she saw him, he tried to kill her. And he very much would have. So is this a situation where she's going to be almost battling against a Force ghost? I mean, not battling physically, but completely wanting to ignore this voice that constantly keeps coming to her. And he also could just show up as a voice, but I don't think so. I think I can see that to a degree, like Obi-Wan would, sometimes you'd hear him. But I think that could happen. I think that was very likely to happen, but I also think it's more likely that we'll see him as Force ghost. But she's gonna have conflicted feelings here. I can't imagine she's just going to be wholly accepting of him as soon as he shows up. Unless if she knows that his turn, if maybe she even felt it. Maybe she felt his turn back to the light. And that is very possible. She felt his turn to the dark. She felt his turn to the dark. She felt Order 66 and she felt her losing him. It's possible she felt his turn back to the light. It's very possible. And then in this series, maybe he's just guiding her. Maybe he's just helping her when he finally can, which sadly is only in death. Now, this does leave the possibility open of something we all want to see, and that is flashbacks. That we could actually see flashbacks to their training, to him training little Ahsoka in the ways of the Force back in the Clone Wars, and we get these just heartwarming and fun, adventurous moments contrasted against what Ahsoka is doing, because she's hunting Thrawn and looking for Ezra Bridger. So I gotta imagine what that would be, this interesting contrast. But I mean, it was a war, so it couldn't be that much fun. But in those cases, they would have to recast Ahsoka. The aging technology's come a long way, but you're not going to take her all the way down to teenage levels. That'd just be way too much to ask. So I could see them, you know, recasting. So if we ever get a rumor of a young Ahsoka, 100%. That is what's happening. It's because Hayden still looks so freaking young. I am jealous looking at that photo. He still looks so young. So they just with a little bit of makeup and digital effects will bring his age down appropriately, and I think he could pull it off, but they would have to cast an Ahsoka. But for now, I'm not really counting on a flashback. I don't know that Filoni wants to go into the Clone Wars again. I can see very well that Filoni might think, you know what, Clone Wars is going to stay animated. That is the way I intended it. That's the way I like that art style. That is how it's supposed to look. And, you know, more power to him if that's what he wants. So maybe he never wants to do anything in live action. Or maybe he does. But I think the Clone Wars flashback is probably a little more far-fetched than anything else we would get. Like Force Ghost Anakin, which I am thrilled with because the possibilities there, just the story possibilities between those two could be incredible. I mean, can you imagine the series starting with someone describing to another character, oh, who is this Ahsoka Tano person? Ahsoka Tano? You don't know who she is? She was the apprentice of Anakin Skywalker, the greatest Jedi in the galaxy. You know, you have this whole conversation about who Anakin was and the fact that he became Darth Vader. And then you end cap the episode with Anakin showing up to her. Just this reveal of, and here's Anakin coming to her. You know, this woman who's been shattered by this person, who was her mentor, her best friend, her brother, who just broke her emotionally. And here they show up at the very end of the episode. See, I can just see that. I can see that so perfectly. And I see it so well, I want it to happen. But yeah, I had to talk about this. I'm actually supposed to be on vacation right now. I was not going to make any content whatsoever. I was not streaming. I wasn't going to make YouTube. I was, you know, playing around on social was about it. I was not going to make content for a few days. But this dropped. This dropped, and it's something I've been wanting for such a long time. Ever since we got a live action Ahsoka, this has been in my brain. Like, can we get Hayden in that? And yes, we do. Hayden's in both Kenobi and this, and I could not be more thrilled. All right. What do you guys think? What are your theories? What are you expecting from this? Are you holding out hope that it's going to be a Clone Wars, you know, flashback? Are you holding out hope that he's actually in the series throughout? What are your theories? You know, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe. It helps the channel out immensely. It gives me the ability to create more content for you guys and just keeps this place going. All right, and before I go, as always, please take care of yourselves and please take care of each other. Thank you for watching.